Thank you very much. And it was a really good start to the session, because at the beginning, I think Maya set out how EU countries have recognized the critical challenge of ensuring they've got a sustainable, well-supported, well-trained health workforce. And Karina has just highlighted for us, the evolving role of nurses advancing their careers and their professional landscape, both in the clinical setting and in the political setting, and talked about the role of leadership. And I think that brings us very nicely to what we're going to talk about now. And I'm delighted to pass the floor to Ber, who's the Executive Director of Esno, who's going to introduce to us the campaign. Ber.
Thank you very much, Tamsin. Yeah, there is so much to say. Just and it's a conference with a lot of speaking slots, and it's very important just to stick to my time. I have two presentations, one short video, and the video is more as a kind of an introduction. Why is this campaign, what we're doing, and also reflecting on the Corinne's words that we have to be more out of our scope, a bit more wider than only our clinical work in the ward. That's not nursing. Nursing is so much bigger. So in this short video, I'd like to ask the team just to give it a start, and after that I'll do a nice PowerPoint presentation. Thank you. Well, so much thank you. It's a kind of a short introduction that shows that nursing world is far much more, and that we really need to stepping into open doors. Let me share my screen.
There, and while we're doing that, is that wonderful video that we've got lots of congratulations already coming in the chat. That will be on the Esno website, so people will be able to share that video more widely.
We have our, absolutely. We have our Esno YouTube channel. So we will include it on the YouTube channel, and we will share it also to everybody. I think kind of an inspiration, because inspiration is also driven me. Well, Adriano thanked me for all the work, but it has not been possible without the moral support of so many others. So I'm just going to give a kind of an introduction to the program. The program, good understanding, is going to be launched 12 May International Nursing Day in this year. So this is a kind of an introduction, and we would very much like to have some input from the members on the participants of this Congress, just to fine tune it, because it's the start. First of all, this is a kind of a conflict of interest disclaimer. No conflicts related to this presentation. And let me first start my presentation in that I'm going to speak about 6 aspects. First of all, let's not forget why we are online. Why we are online. We need to address the new health paradigmas. I give you a kind of an introduction on the program, because the program is broken up in sections, and we hope that for every nurse that they feel, say, well, yes, for this part I feel connected. Then I need to talk about some wordings about campaigning, because nurses don't like campaigning, they like to do their work, but campaigning is really essential. And then talking about unheard stories. Stories are so much important. I'll come back to this later. And well, we have the time. It's 10 years, a decade, but still it's not endlessly. So let's not forget, why are we here online? And well, the last year, no, but 2 years ago, the COVID came in, and there was a lot of despair. What's happening? Colleagues just holding each other. There was really a group, a sense of belonging. Let's do this together. We have intensive care nurses. At the end of the day, just going just bringing people to the mortuary. It's really terrible what happens. We saw a lot of clumsy aspects of issues now on the PPE. We were not prepared, as you see on this image. People with 2 mouth caps, with tapes. So let's not forget, it was. For a lot of us, it was still yesterday. It's still on our face. What's happening? Here you can see the image of an intensive care nurse of an intensive care unit. And please be aware, they're not only intensive care nurses. They're also the doctors working there. Also, some managers step in. So they're all equal in this. And most important of this. Let's not forget the home care settings, where people had to die alone, without a family, and only with nurses. You see also with improvised protection, just with an image on their mobile, just to say their relatives goodbye. It was really impressive. So let's not forget that ever. And also, well, we also know Nurse Elena Pagliarini. You don't know the name. She came as a symbol, but if you're looking at this image, everyone knows. She fell asleep, and after that, she got COVID, recovered, and she's back on track and on the ward. So this is also a bit of the background, and also when we looked at here the words of Maya, she said, well, there's a lot of. She also mentioned there's a crossroads on health, but there's also a role for us to take. So there's it is good to have this in mind. So you can look at roadmaps. They're bringing people together for shared actions, and that they are good for shaping the digital evolution. You also can looking at forecasts based on extrapolation of work, and what went well and how do we go forward, but also new pathways. But there is also a lot of scenarios. So there's so much aspects if you're talking about health in the future, and there's a role for each of us, no one excluded. And for a lot of nurses, and that's also what Corinne also added, if you look at the first health acute response, well, there was this very medical dominated, and we're very blessed with this what we achieved. Also with the pharma, that they developed these vaccines, that we have nurses able to train, and but it was very medical. And what we see at the moment, that somehow we forgot the whole conceptual thinking. We have also a society. We have also the chronic. We have the elderly, the NCDs, the non-communicable diseases, extended care. So at the end, we really need to be more integrated, and that's not only in care but also in the advocacy. So if you can look at this system, you can have degenerated system approach where you are taking the attitude of the user, using the sources, but that comes to an end, and that we experience a lot of this. But also you can have also the regenerated system. You're going up to how to energize it. So you have to go from the user's approach, which is less effective, to a more investment approach, which is more effective. And we all need each other on this. So what this really needs a kind of a new mindset. So to be regenerative, sorry for the word, you have to be restorative, sustainable, also green and extra active. So there's more than only making new shortcuts. So we have to think more conceptual. So if I go to the program, I'm the privileged. I'm just having the first one. And well, the designer worked on this only this afternoon, and mind you, it was a person from living in Kiev at the moment. So there was a hard work done, and the program, it's not just a program, it's a constructive response where it did go wrong and how to work to a better safety healthcare. So it's not only for us as nurses, but for good quality of patient care. So this is a kind of a start, and this is the front page. And after the event, you're going to be invited to have a good look and also give your reflections. The goals of this program are showcasing the best we have, also our diversity, contribute to expertise, just taking part as expert, but also doing a lot of promotion. And at the end, we hope it will also contribute to retention and recruitment. So the program has 5 main pillars. The recognition, providing the relevant expertise, a lot of relations, internal and external, advocacy, and research. Recognition is very important, so I'll go through the slide a little bit faster because after the event you can have a look at it for yourself. It's really expertise. Because you cannot go there without people showing what you can do. Relations is very important for us as Esno, is to our internal relation, talk with the members, talk with the associates, and then also to the external. So it's not good to have only external good contacts if you haven't done your housework internally. Then really going to advocacy, taking more the political environment, but also going to magazines and then a lot of other aspects, and going to do and have your research to do your homework. Well, Adriano already explained the publication, what is coming up, and also contribute to expertise. So we did our presentation. We did some activities on infection prevention. We did some on surgical smoke, and also we have also a very interesting program working on the new curricula on the plasma collection centers. And just mark your day, it's the 2nd of March, we have the introduction. So you have a 5-pillar integrated. So you have 5 circles. If you like the Olympic Games, you might feel inspired. Campaigning is very much important, is speaking out, not only waiting for the one person at the top just saying what to do, just be active on local level and national level. And it's also get used to a new mind and heart set, and also going to storytelling. And Tamzin, we know very much well that last year we had a wonderful event and also a bit on the catharsis. We want to hear your stories, because at the end, it makes science strange, but stories really make a difference. They make something much more difference than scientific papers. And we want to have a special webinar in September 2022 with an expert on why is storytelling so important. Timeline. We have time, but not endlessly. So what we did in 2021, where we drafted a progress, today we have this introduction. 12th May, we have the formal launch, and then we go to more development. We have to do some more policy and strategy. And next year, here in Brussels, we want to have a very physical event, and then we have some beta analysis and just going from there. So our next step and challenges, we need feedback from everyone before we're going to finalize the program. We want to connect with members, we finally the program. We want to also get some campaigning scheduling with milestone and priority. Sponsors will be very important, and supporters, and our activities. Well, this is a bit of my presentation. So in a nutshell, I'm hoping I was a bit in time.
Great. Thanks very much, Bear. And you've indicated there's the brand new program is available that just got finished this afternoon. I'm sure people will be interested in downloading it, looking at it. But let's just start with a couple of questions for you. Where am I speaking to you from? Where are you right now, Bear?
Oh, I'm very proud to explain that I'm here in Brussels. We have our new office.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and I think somewhere in the far away, there's maybe also the building of Maya, and I'm not sure where you are, but really proud so we ended our office 2 years ago because we didn't know what's going to happen in this digital world. But we're on a flexible office, and so that's I'm really proud to be here, but also being physical here, and always so yeah, thanks.
Great. Okay, tell me a little bit more about the context and background to this campaign. It's a fantastic campaign, and Bear, you're clearly very passionate about it. Tell me, what was behind it? What do you want to achieve with it?
Okay, well, it started actually with the Year of the Nurse. We were all so proud. The Year of the Nurse. That's what we hear it already 2 years in advance, and then when it started, the pandemic. The pandemic started, and it was a very strange thing because we really were able to prove what we could do, but everything was so overshadowed to the disease. We saw nurses working very hard on the very difficult conditions, working in new contexts. We had also new nurses as students coming in. An alternative, just go to school, just they closed the school, they had to go to the ward, and there they had to experience situations which is not fit for young nurses. If people are in their last phase of life, then you only want to have nurses experienced on this. So much happened. So what we did, we created this theme with support also with the ZN team, who was also a very great inspiration to us in the caring of nurse. Let's do the caring of nurse, and then the year was not enough, so that's why we say, well, yes, let's take time for this, and let's declare the decade of the nurse under the caring for nurses. So let's make a good campaign, and so let's give some time for this. So that is a bit of the background.
So you've gone from the Year of the Nurse, then the pandemic hit, and there was a recognition that we need more than this. We need a whole decade to achieve some of these big objectives. So tell us a little bit about the campaign that you're launching. Is this something that's going to be led and managed from the Esno team in Brussels, or is it something where you hope there's much more engagement at national level and individual nurses and their allies will be involved?
Yeah, thanks. You see, if you're thinking about nurse in international European context, it's very difficult if you're working there from a very from your local issues, from your local of your national view. So it's good to have a kind of a broad scope, and that our program is more as a guiding, as more kind of a fundament, and every nation can give their cultural signature to this. So as I explained, the formal launch will be the 12th of May, but we would like to every year to giving an update, just so as you have an annual update. So every 12th May, in the next years, it will be updated, but also included with the achievements. So we want to celebrate achievements. So not only looking at the problems, but what did we write, and where do we find the new obstacles? So, but it's going to be in a kind of an organic campaign. So not rather than top down, okay, but more as a hybrid. Yep.
Thanks. And you showed us this lovely image of the 5 different pillars that need to be done. We saw them as the Olympic rings, and they all looked like they were equal there. But is there one that you think is the most ambitious and perhaps the most challenging, the ring that we should all be reaching to grasp?
Well, for us, it's education, recognition and harmonization of training. In the Netherlands, it's embedded in the Dutch law. The nurses are allowed to do the prescribing, but if you go to other countries, they have such a very low profile, and everything what they do, it's even blocked. There's not we need really a new culture change. So that's why it's really on the top. So the other aspects are integrated, but we really need far more done on the recognition in all European regions. Yeah.
That's certainly something very ambitious, and I would imagine that would be one of the key success criteria for your campaign. If you're looking at over a 10-year period, and it takes time to change legislation and regulatory frameworks, tell me how you're going to measure the success of your campaign. What do you hope will have achieved by 2030?
Well, if you look at the campaign, there's a page in that gives a proposal on an index. If you're making an index now, where is the education coming? Where's the experience? Where's your position? But also, where's the well-being? Are you safety at work? So do you have a good sleep and work balance? And if you're looking at safety at work, you also saying, are you, as a lady, are they well represented? But also for example, on education, how much are you supported in your continual professional development? How are this? So this index would be very interesting to follow up in the decade to come. So it will be also very interesting for nations to step into this index and do something about it.
Okay. And just a last question, which is to ask you to give us a little bit more about the conference that you're going to hold in May. Who's it for, and what you're hoping that the audience who are watching us now, what do you hope that they will be doing in connection with that conference?
Well, at the end, health is interdisciplinary. We want to have this for the nurses, but I also like that the nurses bring their doctors, their physicians, their directors, because the directors of the managers, they are also working with the nurses. So at the end, we really want to have this physical event and meeting everyone in personal, because this interpersonal contact does so much more, gives us so much more than this online. And we want to have this a very big event. And we do this in the summer, close just at the end of the academic year, just before everyone goes on to the beach. Just having a good time also together, because that's really what nurses like. Also having a good time, and it's also, we hope that by that time there will nurses find enough inspiration and also recovered just to be there, and we want to have them invited.
So thank you, Ben. Just to finalise, the message for all of you is there's an opportunity to come together at the event of the European Parliament. We want to have 1,000 nurses there for the launch of the campaign, and we're hoping that to see even more people at the next physical Congress, which will be in 2023. Thank you very much, Bear, and I'm going to bring this section to a conclusion.